Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Craig Duncan, I'm a studio head at Rare.
And I'm Joe Neat, executive producer.
And we're here, we've been live 48 hours. 48 hours ago, Sea of Thieves launched in New Zealand. We've rolled the game out across the world and it's been kind of crazy.
Yes, it has. Yeah, and we have seen like unprecedented numbers coming into Sea of Thieves and playing Sea of Thieves. Like the interest has been insane. The amount of people playing has been mind-blowing. And obviously we've seen a lot of people have a great experience.
Yep, seen a lot of streams and a lot of people playing, having a lot of fun.
Yeah, but also very conscious that because of that amount of players coming in, we have seen issues for some players.
Yeah, and really we wanted to, we felt this was a good opportunity to get out in front of you as people that have supported us, our community, our players, and really talk to you about what some of those issues are, what the team's doing. Joe and I have literally just walked out of an engineering review with all of our senior engineers, going through what issues they're tackling. We're all over this. We're a little bit tired. It's been 24/7 kind of since we started, and really, it's just about making sure you guys understand what we're doing and what we're focusing on.
Yeah, and this is the first kind of update of this kind, but we want to be continually kind of updating our community on a regular basis with what are the top issues, what are we seeing, what are the kind of actions we're taking against this, and really what's our status, right? Yeah. Because we have those internal reviews and we have that kind of internal information, and we want to share that wide with everybody, so everybody kind of understands, everything that we're doing, because we have a team working, like Craig says, 24/7. Like all of our service and engineers, our community team, messaging around this. There's a lot of effort going into this to give everyone the best experience we possibly can.
We know it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you try and get into a game and you can't, or you have an issue in the game that's a bug or caused by something else. It's frustrating for us as much as it is for you. We're actually filming this in my office now, and I guess this whiteboard is kind of our top tracking issues. So it might just be, Joe, should we just talk through these?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably a good way to start.
Yeah, so the top issue we've got here is that players are having access issues during peak time. And so peak time is really, as you can see here, it's kind of 9 p.m. in the evening for Europe, right?
Yep.
And which is when a lot of Europeans are still playing. They're playing in the evening, but it also means you get East Coast America coming in their early afternoon through to evening, and West Coast America for their afternoon into their early evening. It means you get so many players at the same time.
Yeah, and if you think about a kind of global launch, obviously, we've got more people playing in Europe into the evening, America coming online. So it's really when the most people in the world are playing Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, and obviously we ran a series of alphas and scale tests and a final beta leading up to this. And we expected that trend in terms of like what that curve would look like. Yep. But what that didn't prepare us for was the amount of players that we've seen turning up and playing Sea of Thieves in this. Because we are at a scale that we have not seen anywhere near, right?
And just to give some context to that, and it's a number of things. It's the maximum scale, which I think we're between 3 and 4 times what we seen in our final beta, which was our biggest ever scale test.
Yeah.
It's things like the join rate of people joining, people trying to get into games. I think at one point, our services engineer told me we had 5,000 people coming in per minute.
Yeah.
And that's just people joining the game, trying to matchmake up. The other thing is just on a general level of scale, we've actually seen more than 1 million unique users in a 48-hour period, which I think is just massive compared to what we've seen before.
Yeah.
And there's a number, like we've identified these as separate issues, but they're actually kind of related as well. Because if you think about services, and we know, we've actually got a lot of developers and engineers in our community. It's not just turning on servers and having people join. It is about join rates. It is about message queues. It is about how many things in our services are getting hit with what concurrency. I guess what's a good thing is not all of these issues are affecting all players.
Yep.
But we know some players are seeing these. So when we've hit these peak times, we know it's been problematic. We know, our matchmaking's had issues. And if you think about Sea of Thieves as a game, we matchmake you into a crew, and then we matchmake crews onto servers. And there's actually, it's fairly complex. That's how we deliver the game experience that hopefully people are enjoying. But we're just seeing load in both those areas. So what we'd encourage people to do is if they're having issues and maybe they're trying to go in on a solo ship and matchmake into the world, maybe try just joining a galleon crew.
Yeah, because it goes through a different flow, doesn't it? Because like you're joining a crew that's already in progress out in the world, so they've gone through that server matchmaking step and they're already out there playing. And so you're just joining into their adventure. And that is a different thing, a different service that's kind of getting stressed, right?
And our architecture in the game is we always want to protect players that are in the experience.
Yeah.
So like the kind of worst thing we want to do is actually take the game down and affect everyone. So even if we're seeing scale issues, we always try and maintain that integrity, which is if you're in and playing, like we try and keep that as solid as possible. Yeah. So,
but I think it's important to stress that that's like what we're saying there is like if you're in during these peak times and you start experiencing issues, like try maybe if you're trying to play solo, try something else. But it's kind of like a temporary workaround that we're just kind of offering as a bit of guidance to our players right now, because obviously we've got a big list of things that the team are working through and prioritising to get this experience to function entirely as we expect and entirely as our players.
And we've actually, like, there's a lot of fixes we've done already, which are server side, which don't require the game to take an update. So some of those have been done, some of those are on the to-do list for today, some of those we'll get through over the next week or so.
Point 2 here, the delayed rewards in gold. And so this is where, when you're playing the game, you're cashing something in, maybe you're taking some rewards and stuff, and the game isn't then instantly recognising that it's giving you
you're not getting the pop-up, you look at the status screen, you're not seeing your gold, maybe.
Our investigations believe that's a temporary thing because it's just kind of queuing up all the messages that are kind of getting pushed through our service to tell you, because the game kind of pushes the fact up to our service of going, hey, this guy's just cashed this in, and then pushes back down and gives you that reward. That's where we're seeing some delay coming back down the pipe. So what we'd advise players to do there is kind of just continue playing, because it will come through that pipe. Because what we've seen some players do is kind of, they've noticed that if maybe you quit out of the game or you go and do something like that, that when you come back in, it might be refreshed. We would advise people stay in the game experience, stay playing, because if you're making that step to quit out of the game and go back to the front end,
you're
now going through
this one again.
You're going back through that throw again, and kind of adding strain and stuff.
So it's that thing is when we see people having problems, and we're trying to make sure we give the best advice. I mean, obviously our priority one is to try and fix it and get those fixed. But as we're seeing them, again, this one here is really a try and just kind of keep with it, try and keep playing the game, and it will should correct itself.
And we've got a group of engineers working on this right now. They're looking into it, like whether it's something we can fix entirely in the service, so something we can just do as players are playing live, whether it needs a client update in terms of a patch. We're hoping it's in the service side, but we'll have more information to share on that ASAP, and we're hoping to make some improvements to this before we hit peak time tonight. That's really like the latest update we've just had from our team. So so there's work ongoing in all of these areas, but we feel good that we're digging into exactly what that problem is.
And it really, like, every single one of these issues is scale related. So, and obviously if people, continue to retry, quit out, come back in, like all of that just adds to the sell. So if you think about, we have a problem and then people just keep hitting that problem over again. So we are absolutely all over these.
So delayed achievements. So this was again during peak time last night. We because of the overwhelming amount of messages and stuff that was going through all of our services, we made the decision to temporarily delay the awarding of achievements to players. So, we've been tracking who was getting achievements during that kind of peak time.
Because it uses the same stat system as the entitlements and the gold.
And then that's going to be flowing through the pipes now. So people are going to start seeing those achievements start kind of unlocking and stuff as they continue to play. So that's a temporary delay, but it was a decision we made to try and allow and keep as many people playing during that peak time last night. And we felt that was a lower priority to keep awarding that if it meant we could get more people playing.
And we've actually been operating a 24/7 kind of ship room where our services engineers have literally been making real-time changes. So everything that's happening real time, even if our comms and community messages are every couple of hours, we're looking at it literally on a minute-by-minute basis.
And I think one of the key things there is it's hard sometimes to give an estimate straight away. Like when we go, hey, we're temporarily doing this or we're doing that, we don't know if it's going to be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So it's really hard to give that estimate. So please bear with us on our social channels. We'll share updates as soon as we can have it, but everything is live, right? It's a live situation. Things are changing and evolving, right? Number 4, temporary missing items. This be when you first load into the game, perhaps you don't have access to your items and stuff. So we think that needs a client-side fix, so it patched to the game.
It's a bug.
It's a bug, right?
And it seems to be affecting a few players. It does seem like buying something does fix it in some cases. But I believe we've already got a fix for that.
We've got a fix for that already, but it needs a patch basically. And so we're currently just looking at the list of items we've got. Like when do we want to update the game for the first time? It won't be too far away, but it's probably going to be early next week. And then number 5. So we've seen some reported performance issues on the Xbox One X.
Yep.
We've identified these areas. It's in specific areas in the game, and we've got a series of fixes that have already they've been checked in. But again, this requires a client-side update. So again, that's looking likely that's going to be something early next week.
Yeah. So we're going to probably pull these together, plus any client-side fixes we need to do here, plus any other. There's minor. General bug fixes.
There's stability fixes. There's a bunch of stuff that's going in, but ultimately, like, the priority for us right now, 24/7, for our players that are playing live, is these issues here that are as a result of the scale of players that we've seen.
Again, just want to kind of finish as we started. We do appreciate all the patience. We do appreciate the support. Believe me, it is frustrating for us as it is for anyone that's experiencing an issue. Team are working hard. We, like I say, absolutely thank everyone for playing, and Sea of Thieves is super important to us. It's a real passion project, and we want to get to an end state where everyone has a good time all the time, every time they play.
Yeah, absolutely.